What's going on, my friends? Today we're taking a look at an absolute tank of a watch. This one is from a brand called Enriva, and I randomly came across this one off a post on Facebook from one of the watch groups I'm in. It's basically just an oversized sub Homage, but what really caught my eye was this super cool caseback. So let's go ahead and see what this watch is all about. But before we do, quick wrist check as always. Today I've got the Tudor P01 on, which is also a tank of a watch. Maybe not so much as the Enriva, at least in size, but still very cool nonetheless. Getting back to the star of the show, we'll start with price, which sits just under $300 on Amazon at around 290 bucks. I think it's right at the very limit of what I would spend on a NH35 watch. However, despite the fairly basic movement, I do think there are plenty of other bells and whistles that make up for that higher price tag. For dimensions, here they are on the screen. One thing you don't quite see in the pictures is just how thick it is. I'm used to Invictas, and even then I can say this watch's thickness smacked me in the face the second I unboxed it. It's mostly just because you don't expect this kind of case height from a Submariner style watch, and I can't say that I'm really a fan of it. I am a fan of the hardware though. As expected, the watch has a stainless steel case and bracelet. At the top there is a 120 click unidirectional bezel with a ceramic bezel insert. Inside that there is a sapphire crystal. On the side, there is a screw-down crown. On the other side, a helium escape valve. And on the very bottom, there is a screw-down caseback. All of this supposedly gives us 1,000 meters of water resistance. I say supposedly because that's what they say, but I'm usually wary of water resistance ratings from lesser-known brands, and it's nothing against them. I just feel that 1,000 meters is pretty significant, and I'm not willing to figure out myself if it's true or not. And like I said before, the watch is powered by an NH35 movement. Here's the Lumeshot, and I think you will find it to be absolutely incredible. It really puts a lot of other brands to shame, and frankly, I am surprised that this brand isn't more well known based solely on the quality of this lume, and I do think other dive watches need to take notes. Going back to the bezel, I think the bezel action is outstanding. It's buttery smooth but pleasantly solid, and feels like a watch in a much higher price bracket. The scalloped edge provides an effective gripping surface, but that shouldn't be a surprise to anyone. The ceramic bezel insert is an added benefit as it will offer some serious scratch resistance, and despite how much you want to pretend that you enjoy battle scars, deep down we all know that you would prefer a watch without them. The dial is pretty standard affair. I don't think there's anything here that's going to win any creativity contest, but with that being said, I do believe the black sunburst effect on the surface is stunning. It offers subtle light play that makes it pleasing to observe in different angles of light, and it reminds me of the newest version of 39mm Tudor Pelagos. Moving to the side and taking a look at the crown, aesthetically I think it's very well done with the Enriva logo engraved on it, giving the watch a more refined sense of quality compared to watches that simply laser engrave their designs. Functionally, it's great too. The crown is threaded nicely to the case, making the opening and closing of it a smooth procedure. Due to the enormity of the watch, grabbing and operating the crown is really easy, and the coined edge makes it even easier. Crown operation is usually my main litmus test of a quality watch, and I think the Enriva passes just fine. Now getting to the caseback, which I think is the star of the show here. Oddly enough, casebacks are one of my favorite parts of a watch because that's an entire section where designers can really have some fun. And here you can see that is the case. Here you can see the spaceman design that is beautifully embossed, giving the caseback a really great 3D depth to it. And they did not waste the opportunity to show some character here, and I appreciate that. The bracelet is pretty standard affair, but I think for a watch that is under $300, there's a lot of good things going on here. The clasp is a milled steel deploying clasp that I know many of you are going to like, and it's also got 4 micro adjustable positions. There is a diver's extension that sits hidden away in the clasp itself, so it doesn't get in the way like other extensions do. What I really like here are the end links. Number one, they're solid, but number two, they incorporated dual pin quick release spring bars, making it a breeze to remove the bracelet. The links are held together via pin and collar system, so if you've never messed around with that, just make sure you do some research on it before you do. It's easy, but you just need to make sure you don't lose any of the parts. As far as the finishing, it's about as good as you're going to get with brushed stainless steel, but I've got no complaints here. It's rugged, simple, and something you're not going to have to worry about. It's finished just like a working man's watch, and that's just fine by me. Overall, I've had a positive experience with the Enriva. My main gripe is the unnecessary thickness, and that's something that's either going to make people love it or hate it, but that's purely a preference thing. Objectively, the build quality and hardware used are all solid, and I think it is priced fairly to really be a value king. So that's all I have to say for now. I hope you enjoyed this review and that I was able to give you some useful insight on this not so popular watch. Thanks always for sticking around this long. Please like and subscribe if you can, and I will catch you in the next episode. Bye.